So he also brought us breakfast. So.
Breakfast is great, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, you gotta love a big guy named Bo, don't you? I mean, you just do. That was great stuff that you had up here. Here are some business cards. As you look at these cards, you're going to notice something. The guy that did these for me this morning at Office Depot doesn't work in the photocopy area regularly. He shifted them, but I said, that's okay, they're fine, we'll take them. So there's some cards. Take a card. Let me take one of those, actually. Here's some flyers for you that tell our story, and here's the story. I founded a company a few years ago called 1-800-JUNK-REFUND. As its name implies, you can get money back from having your junk hauled away. Nobody else does that in our industry. And frankly, we have the best stories, which I'm going to tell you a couple of them here in just a moment. Business cards. I've been in sales 25 years. I was a stockbroker at Smith Barney for 10 years. I sold Stephen Covey's 7 Habits of Highly Effective People leadership training and the Franklin Day Planner time management seminars in Washington, D.C. for about 10 years. And I've had my own business for 10 years. I'm a tough guy to sell to because I'm just kind of like things done a certain way. But I have some opinions about sales. I'm just going to throw a couple of them out. Number one, on a business card, the front part of a business card is how people get a hold of you. It's your email, it's your cell phone, it's your address, it's your name. The back part of your business card is why they should get a hold of you. If the back part of your business card is blank, that's wasted space in my book. And you need, in my opinion, to come up with 3 reasons why people should use you as a realtor instead of any other agent in the county. If you can come up with those 3 reasons, and if they're really good, you establish a niche. Now, you've all heard of 1-800-GOT-JUNK, right? That's a great story. College kid in Vancouver, British Columbia decides, while he's in college, to get a pickup truck and start hauling away junk for people. Talks a federal government agency in Idaho to sell him, or actually they gave him, the toll-free number that spells 1-800-GOT-JUNK. And 10 years later does $100 million annually in sales with 350 franchises. College hunks hauling junk. You ever use them? Omar and his buddy that started that company by writing an essay down at the University of Miami now have a company with about 30 or 40 franchises and do millions of dollars a year in sales and have been on Shark Tank and have a book. Those guys are awesome. They're like 28. They're doing great. Having a lot of fun. But we saw this happening. And we thought, you know, I would go out and I would haul away junk for people. And I went back to my 3 reasons. See, I didn't create 3 reasons why you should use me instead of these other brilliant guys. Right? So one of them is price. So I priced our junk hauling stuff at 10 to 30%, sometimes 40% below these other guys. So if you've just got a bunch of junk, you need somebody to haul it away, we'll save you anywhere from 10 to 30% on the price and the cost of getting that hauled away. Is that a win?
Yeah.
5 to 10% is nice, but that's nothing to write home about. 10 to 30% is worth a phone call. That's worth a phone call. So that's reason number 1. Number 2, we wanted to make it fun for people to do business with us. So I actually started off, when I started my own business, and I was still with Franklin Covey, I started a weekend business because I was raising money for a bunch of Boy Scouts in our church, and I wanted to take them to Orlando, Florida, if they made it to Eagle Scout. So I said, okay, we're going to sell firewood to raise money to pay for your trip. So I wrote an ad for the Gazette. This was August. Nobody's buying firewood, nobody's thinking about firewood in August. It's too hot. You buy firewood in December, right? Right after the snow hits. August you don't. So you look in the paper and the ads for the firewood are all very similar. A quart of firewood, seasoned oak, $180 a quart. Quart of firewood, seasoned oak, $150 a quart. Quart of firewood, seasoned oak, $165 a quart. What happens if you put an ad in there with a price? You get knocked out if someone's in there with a lower price and your ad says the same thing. So you want to be different. Yeah, it's fine. So I wrote an ad that said, seasoned oak firewood, guaranteed best value. Plus, no price, plus 2 pints of Ben & Jerry's ice cream with each order. Remember, it's hot, right? Nobody knows me. Everybody knows and loves, pretty much, Ben & Jerry's. So I teamed up with somebody they knew and loved, because they didn't know me. 16 calls the first day that ad ran. I had a guy call me and said, I don't even care if your wood burns. I don't even care what the price is. I want the ice cream. True story. So be creative in what you do. So we give away, second item, or second reason, we give away Ben & Jerry's ice cream when we haul away junk for people. Did you know as a realtor, if you come into our new store, we've had it for about 6 or 7 months, we're on Shady Grove Road, you get free Ben & Jerry's ice cream. You just show us your card as a realtor, you get free ice cream. Same for property managers. So we want your business, we want you to have fun. Any customer that buys something in our retail store, you get free Ben & Jerry's ice cream. Those little 3.6 ounce guys, you know, they're awesome. So we want to make it fun for you to do business with us. But reason number 3, we take your good stuff, and instead of dumping it at the dump, we go back to the retail store, and we put it in our retail store, and then we list it for sale electronically, and we sell it. We take 30% off the top to cover the cost of the store. That leaves 70% left. We split that with the customer. So we haul your good stuff back to the store and sell it, and then you get money back. So here we go with some stories. We go to a house in Great Falls, Virginia. This lady lives 3 homes from West Foster. And Long and Foster doesn't have the listing. And she has a $5 million house, and she has us come in at the end. A real estate agent didn't know who to refer her to. We got referred to her from actually another real estate agent who knew what we did. She had some very nice floor lamps, some couches, and she just had some stuff to haul away. It was 3/4 of a truckload of stuff, $375. The other guys would have charged $495, maybe $500. So we saved her money right off the bat. But as we're loading the stuff in the truck and we're kind of getting some stuff done, she goes, "Take the speakers from my home theater system too." We went, okay. Her husband wanted to leave them for the buyer. She said, well, take the speakers and see if you can do something with those. So we're loading them in the truck, and one of our guys looks at me and he goes, "These are top-of-the-line speakers." I mean, cool, that's what we want. We sold the speakers on eBay for $7,000. B&W speakers, made in Europe. 7,000 bucks. Now, when I started doing this, I just gave people 50% because we didn't have a retail store. So I go back to the lady's house a month later. She has no idea what's happening. And I walk into her kitchen. She goes, "So, anything sell?" I went, "Well, yeah, you could say that. We sold your speakers for $7,000. And I pulled out $3,500 and gave it to her. This is a former TV news anchor, gorgeous, brilliant lady. I think it was on ABC here in Washington for years. She isn't accustomed to being in the spotlight, right? She looks at me in her own kitchen, and I give her $3,500, and she goes, "I'm shocked." She goes, I don't know what to say." Now, who wins in that scenario?
Everybody.
Everybody. Thank you. Our hauling job wasn't a $375 hauling job. It was a $3,875 hauling job because we got the other $3,500. How much more labor and trucks did we have to send out to do that? None. It was all done electronically. We have gone to Potomac and hauled away a truckload of stuff in the morning. We showed up at 9 o'clock. By 11 o'clock, the truck was full. We photographed the furniture that was in the house before we hauled it out into the truck. So at 11 o'clock, it's in the truck. It's a $495 job, and we drive off. As I'm in the truck using an iPad, I'm listing it on Craigslist. At 3 o'clock that afternoon, we get a call from 2 students in Georgetown who want to come to what then we use storage units. They say, "Can we meet you at the storage unit at 7 o'clock tonight because we're interested in some of this furniture." I meet them at the storage unit at 7 o'clock. They look at the furniture. They buy the furniture. At 9 o'clock the next morning, I'm back at the lady's house in Potomac giving her a check for the stuff we hauled away 24 hours earlier.
That's awesome.
You with me? Okay, show me anybody in the country that does that. Sorry, but it's us. One last story. We've done cars before. We do everything from collectibles to cars. We've sold boats. We've sold all kinds of stuff. Good little sales tip here too, perhaps. Lady calls us from Northern Virginia. And she says, "My dad has retired from the government. He worked about 5 miles from where he lived. He's moving back to Oklahoma City. And I'm up here from Fort Lauderdale, and we're helping him clean out his place. And we got some stuff left over in the garage. Can you help us?" And I said, "Sure." I said, "How much stuff do you have?" She said, "Well, I'm not sure." And I said, "Okay, well, think of like a regular pickup truck, like a Ford pickup truck. How many of those would it take to haul away your stuff?" And she says, "Maybe 2. I said, "Okay, then you got about half of a truckload of stuff for us, and that's about $250. She goes, "Great, when can you come get it?" And I just like to say, "Well, when would you like us to come get it?" She'll say, "Thursday at 3, and I'll go, "Okay, we'll be there Thursday at 3 or whatever." So we go, and then I asked the question that every salesperson, every good salesperson should ask this before they end a conversation. And this was just dumb luck. I didn't plan this, it was just dumb luck. I just thought of it, so I asked it. I said, by the way, is there anything else I can do for you? Talk about a non-threatening question. Is there anything else I can do for you? She goes, well, there's a car. I said, the car? She said, yeah, there's this car. Now, I start to think, old car, under a tree, wet, leaves on it, under a tarp, been there 20 years. That's what I'm thinking. I said, well, tell me about the car. She goes, it's a 2006 Chrysler Sebring Limited convertible with heated leather seats. I went, well, what's wrong with the car? She said, nothing. I said, what do you need done with the car? We're trying to sell it. It's been listed in the Washington Post, and we haven't had any interest really, and my dad's about to go back to Oklahoma City, and I don't need it down in Florida, and we don't have any family here. And she said, we're not getting any response from the Post. And I said, ma'am, it's because when you list it in the Washington Post, nobody can see the car. They have to come to your house to see the car. Put it out electronically and they can see the car without leaving their den. And millions of people can see it. It's a better way to sell a car. I said, how much are you trying to sell a car for? She said, $10,500. So normally when we sell something, we take half and they get half. If you sell a $10,000 car and you get 5 and they get 5, is that a win for them? No. So I went to the gentleman there and I said, here's another thing I love to do in sales. I love these 2 words, bottom line. I just went to him and I said, look, bottom line, how much do you want to get out of this car that would make you happy? He said, $9,900. I said, all right, I'll tell you what, we'll take care of it. We'll put it up for sale for you. We'll keep anything over $9,900. How's that sound? He goes, that works for me. Now remember, I don't know these people from Adam. I just went over with a couple of guys and cleaned out their garage. She gives me the keys to the car, the paperwork to the car, and everything but the title, which goes back to Oklahoma City with her dad. I drive home this, and I said, I did a little math. I was thinking about the mileage on this car. Probably should have had, I don't know, 70, 80,000 miles on the car. I said, how many miles are on the car? It's like 23,000. That's sweet. So I went home and looked on the computer. This car is worth anywhere from $10,000 to $13,000. So I come driving home this hot convertible to our home, in our development, and my 12-year-old daughter sees me come around the corner in this convertible with the top down, driving towards our house. And I pull into the driveway, and she comes up to me and she goes, Dad, I will work every Saturday between now and when I'm 16 if you'll let me have this car. And I said, honey, unfortunately, it's not my car. I've got to put it up for sale for somebody else. We cleaned it up for, what, 100 bucks? Put it in my garage, took some pictures of it, put it up for sale, sold it to an attorney in Minneapolis, Minnesota for $10,850. Now isn't that interesting? A guy in Minnesota will pay more than anybody would offer in Washington, D.C., and will incur the expense to fly here and drive the car back home, and he goes home happy as a lark. Isn't that amazing? We have sold furniture that people were trying to sell out of a nice home in Potomac at a yard sale on a weekend for $2,000 bucks. We sold it for $3,500 bucks to a lady in Houston who flew up and drove it 1,400 miles back to Houston. Okay? So like I tell you, we have the best stories. We just do. And it's really, really fun. So we haul away the junk. We do the right thing with it. If it can be sold, we take it to our store and sell it. We recycle stuff. We get donation receipts. We take it to Goodwill or wherever and get you a donation receipt in your name if that's what we think should be done with it, or if that's what you want done with it. We junk the junk. We try to do the right thing with the stuff. Does that make sense?
And it helps us clean out houses that need to be sold.
And we're a turnkey operation. Yeah, so we take the stuff out of the counters. We clean out the fridge. You don't have to box anything up. You don't have to go up into the attic. You just have to call us. And we will do the work. You just have to, I tell people, you just have to point to it. That's all you have to do. So we're having a blast. Thanks for the time. Do you have any questions I can answer real quick?
This is great.
Yes.
Are you ever willing to
Yes.
barter cash-free deals?
No.
You won't take something of value and just call
No.
it square?
No, because it costs me money to go take it. Okay. No. Any other questions?
Your local, what areas do you cover? How
I've
far
done
would you
jobs
go?
from, yeah, we're in the Mid-Atlantic area here in Northern Virginia, this is Baltimore stuff. I've done jobs in Long Island before. New York, okay? We'll go wherever the job, we can pretty much make it work, we'll go there and do it. And we have a lot of fun, but
You
middle
can
end.
call anytime, right?
Call me anytime.
Because I know.
Okay? Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Yes, flyers. Anybody need flyers?
Yes.
Go ahead, pass those around.
This was my personal bold law of the week. Each week in bold, you must choose one of those